It is funny. And the NFL season starts Thursday, and we just had the first real major weekend of college football. And one of the things I love about football, it's not subtle. You get exposed very quickly. That team's poorly coached. That team's well coached. That quarterback stinks. This one's great. You get exposed very quickly. It's not like that in other sports. If you take hockey, you'll get to the playoffs in hockey, and 8 seeds will beat 1 seeds. In the NBA, a lot of great players in the NBA, they miss regular season games. You're not quite sure what you're going to get. Oh, the NBA playoffs, here come all the stars. In baseball, hard to predict. It's just, are your pitchers healthy? Are your best pitchers ready to go? Are they pitching well? It's so dominated by pitching in the playoffs. But football's different. It's a little like UFC. Any sport that has a regulated level of violence and power and aggressiveness as sort of the keystones to the product, big, strong, powerful, overwhelms weak really fast. And Thursday night's going to be very interesting. Zach Martin, the best Dallas Cowboy current player, is out. That now makes 9 Cowboys in 16 days who have gone into COVID protocol. That's like embarrassing. And it's interesting because the Cowboys, there's a lot of stories that we're all kind of gravitating to. Zeke's in the best shape of his career. Here comes Dak. He's back. He gets a preseason with McCarthy. They have a new defensive coordinator. 4 or 5 promising young defensive draft picks. But I look at Dallas this morning with all these COVID protocol stories, and I think, man, it's just a lot of questions. And Tampa Thursday's got nothing but answers. If you take out Zeke in the running back unit, Tampa is better at quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, O-line now that Zach Martin's out, D-line, linebackers, safety, corner, and coaching. This has an Alabama-Miami potential feel where you got a couple big brands and one really great team. Mike Evans was quoted saying this week, the wide receiver that Tom Brady prefers to throw to, we are miles ahead of last year. Don't confuse interesting story with good football team. It's not going to take you long to figure this out. I mean, you watch college football this weekend. It doesn't take long in football to spot a poorly coached team, to spot a Miami Hurricanes. Oh, they're not, that's not going to work against Alabama. That's what football gives us. And I look at Dallas and Tampa, and I start looking at the units. I wrote down this morning the 10 best players. It was 9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and 1 Dallas Cowboy. It was 2, Zach Martin and Zeke, and now Zach Martin is out, COVID protocol. Don't be surprised if Thursday doesn't have a little look like Alabama and Miami had. You think you're getting a good game. Alabama had answers. Miami had questions. I have a feeling Thursday night's going to turn out just the same. Last week, we unveiled sort of a pyramid as we get ready for the NFL. So in college football, you kind of know there's usually like 4 teams that you kind of feel like, to me, it's like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Oklahoma, and you kind of national championship teams. And there'll be a couple that sneak in. The NFL is much broader. There's usually 8 to 10, maybe not quite that, but 7 to 8 teams in the NFL where you kind of feel like these teams, as long as they're healthy, you can win a Super Bowl with them. And these are the teams, I kind of consider my Super Bowl teams, I usually have what I call my Super Bowl bubble, but like the power pyramid. I think Tampa's at the top of it. They return every player, every coach of note. And then I think Kansas City, Buffalo are really close. And then I think Cleveland, Baltimore, Seattle are just inches below it, but really good. And then I think if they stay healthy, the Rams, the Packers, the Colts, and the Patriots are going to be really, really tough outs. And it was funny because I was thinking this morning, if I added a layer to it, like 5 more teams, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the bottom, the team, I would put Chargers, Washington, Niners, Miami. Now, I don't necessarily consider these Super Bowl teams, but you can see for our TV audience, it goes Chargers, Washington, Niners, Miami. Good team. These are double-digit win teams I like. Just don't quite think they can win the Super Bowl. And I'm going left or right on all of these, right? So I think Kansas City's better than Buffalo. Cleveland, Baltimore better than Seattle. Chargers, Packers better than Colts, Patriots. or Rams, Packers better than Colts, Patriots. Chargers, Washington, San Francisco better than Miami, and question mark. The team I really can't get my arms around, and I just don't know what to do with them. So last year when Pittsburgh got off to an 11-0 start, I was getting so much hate mail from Pittsburgh. I said, they're barely beating bad teams. They have no running game. This is not going to last. You can't pass 45 times. This is not a good football team. And this year, I've kind of bailed on Pittsburgh. And I think to myself, be very careful. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season, even with Duck Hodges. Big Ben's in the best shape of his life. The defense, which is lights out, remember last year? It fell apart. Everybody got hurt. It's finally healthy again. And then they have solved their running back dilemma. They just didn't have any good running backs. But I go to the Steelers' schedule, and this is how it works for me. Every time I count their wins, I always get to 8. So I look at it. Yes, they're going to beat the Raiders in Cincinnati. They'll shut down those offenses. And yes, they're going to beat Denver. And then later at home, they're going to beat Chicago and Detroit. And I do think they'll beat Cincinnati at Cincinnati. And then they'll beat the Vikings in Tennessee. And that gives me 8. I honestly don't think they can beat Cleveland or Baltimore, which is so contrarian to their history. I watched the way Cleveland pushed them around last year, and nothing has changed except Cleveland's better, and I don't think they can beat Baltimore. So if they could split with Cleveland and Baltimore, then I'm wrong, and it's a 10-win team. Pittsburgh's schedule is it's interesting. There are games you really think they're up against it, and then games they should roll. There's not a lot of gray area with their schedule. Their gray area is Cleveland and Baltimore. If they split with those two, they're probably a playoff team. I just don't know if they can.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.